everyone, and welcome to another episode of Scholar Chit Chat podcast. And today I'm your host, Joanne. So if you're interested in studying abroad and this is your first time tuning in, welcome home. This is Scholar Chit Chat podcast. Here we are committed to bringing you relevant information that will help you achieve your study abroad dreams. And to our returning listeners, welcome back. We are glad to have you. So let's get right into the business for today. So for this episode, we have a special guest who will be talking us through the DAAD scholarship. Please join me in welcoming our guest, as I'll let her introduce herself now.
All right, thank you, Joanne. It's a great opportunity to be here, and I'm glad to be your guest on tonight's podcast. My name is Omobolanle Adekola. I am from Oyo State, Nigeria, a proud Nigerian for that matter. So I am currently a graduate student at the University of Göttingen in Germany. I am an EP-SDA scholar where I study Masters in Development Economics, and my research interests, of course, are development and health economics. I mean, it lies between the intersection of both. I could as well move into some other branches while still connecting the dots back to development and health economics. Prior to this time, I have been a lecturer in a university in Nigeria, Traditional University of Education, where I taught, of course, economics-related courses like statistics, fiscal policy analysis, and a bit of business economics and entrepreneurial development, where I also supported students, on their courses, their exams, and also facilitated some extracurricular sessions with them on topics relating to career paths for students in economics. And aside that, I also was a fellow with the Teach for Nigeria, which is an organization that helps to bridge the educational inequity that is prevalent within the economy. I served with them for 2 years as a fellow, right? And I had a very good time with my kids back in Nigeria. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. So I just want to know, what was your undergraduate?
Economics still. I mean, I'm still in the economics path.
Oh, okay. So that's good. Thank you very much once again for joining us for this episode.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Okay, to start, was this the first scholarship you applied for, or have you applied to other scholarships before?
My application journey started back in 2020. The very first scholarship I would apply to is the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship back in 2020. So, I mean, if I should start counting, I've lost count already.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the post you did on LinkedIn and I was like, wow. That's inspiring, actually.
Thank you.
How and when did you hear about studying in Germany, and what motivated you to apply?
Okay, thank you for this question. To be honest, I wasn't thinking of Germany. Germany was not within my purview as at the time I started my application process, because I've always been this person who wants to do more research in the US and Canada. Yeah. So, and even while I was applying to schools in Europe, I only targeted France, right? Development economics is a part of economics that I'm so fascinated about. Even right from my undergraduate thesis, I was working on development and health. But the University of Göttingen came in the middle of my 2024 application cycle. I just saw the link and I felt like, well, since I'm applying, this is also a good one for me to apply to, and it's still within the purview of development that I focused on during the application cycle, and I applied to it.
I think one thing that is constant with almost every guest that we have had here is that most of the time they focus on other countries, and then the ones they least expect, those are the ones they actually get. So the moral I'll say is, don't give up, keep trying, spread your wings. Yeah. So how is Germany? How are you coping with the language barrier and everything?
As an international student, it started off not on the smooth path. Yeah, I am still learning the language, and thankfully my scholarship offered us a 2 months intensive German, class. It was inclusive
Oh,
of the scholarship package. So
wow.
we started learning the language intensively for the very first 2 months. And the reason is to foster inclusivity of we international students amongst the natives here. Of course, some of them
Okay.
understand the English language, but most of them are natives and they wouldn't be comfortable speaking another language aside from their native language. So we needed to go through that training first. And also, another thing is when I realized that I'd gotten the scholarship, I started using some applications to learn. I started with Duolingo. To be honest, I was thinking I'll be going to France, so I started learning the French language. But then, of course, I got this scholarship for the French school, but I didn't go there. So I needed to switch to Germany when I finally decided out of these different scholarships that I got, which one will I finally settle for. So when I settled for Germany, the DAAD scholarship, I started learning the German language, and that also helped me a little bit with some words in the German language even before coming here. So I think it's been good, and also being here speaking to natives also helped develop my speaking skills of the language. It's still not perfect though, but I can hold basic conversations, and that is one thing I'm so grateful to the scholarship for the language school.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned that you got other scholarships. Can you just give us a brief of the other scholarships you got?
Oh my. Okay, I got another fully funded scholarship in France called the EPOS scholarship.
Okay.
Then I also got some admissions in the University of Luxembourg to study economics and finance, and University of California, Berkeley to study masters in development studies.
Okay, so I'm just curious, what made you choose the one in Germany?
My research interest, basically. Yeah, because I needed to do a deep introspection into my career goals and what I want for myself. And I realized that basically this development thing is still very prevalent. Of course, you might look at it on the very, but looking into the micro indicators, micro factors that affect development in my own country, it is still very deep. And even in other African countries, it is very deep. So I thought of settling for the development economics because it relates to my research interest. That's number one. Number two is I checked the ranking of each universities in the world universities rank. Of course, I went for the school that had the highest ranked university. I checked the research of the university, and this university is a public research, university. Then my course is ranked, I think the first or second best development economics course, in Europe. So I looked at all those rankings, and aside from my basic interest.
So to our listeners, this is something you can actually look out for, maybe when selecting the particular scholarship or school you want to do your studies in. Okay, so let's just go right into the scholarship, the main scholarship now. So give us a brief background of the scholarship, what it entails. That means this is for people that don't really know about the scholarship. They're just hearing about it for the first time, or maybe they've heard about it, but then they don't really know a lot about it. Just like a brief background, what the scholarship covers, the funding, were there any additional expenses you had to manage?
Oh, okay. Thank you for this question. Well, the DAAD EPOS scholarship is specifically targeted to development-related programs.
Okay.
So for international students across Africa, then it covers monthly stipend, health insurance, traveling allowances. Like I mentioned earlier, the language school costs. Yeah, these things are covered. It's fully funded, so everything related to the academics is funded. There is no part that is being left out, so you don't incur any cost, on your own as a student.
Okay, so if let's say I get the scholarship, now I don't have to pay for anything, maybe during the application process or maybe after getting the scholarship, nothing.
No, it's fully funded, and my university didn't require application fee.
Okay. So thank you very much for that. So now let's move to the next question. For this scholarship, do you need any English proficiency test?
To an extent, the
Okay.
universities would require you to have English proficiency. So it could be
Okay.
the IELTS or
Okay.
the TOEFL test. That's for
Okay.
individuals whose official language is not English language, and whose mode of instruction in their formal education, let's say the undergraduate, was also not in English. So in my case, my mode of instruction in my undergraduate was English language. English language is also the official language of Nigeria. So all I needed to provide was just a proof of English proficiency from my university. To the university I am coming here. And another thing that made it a smooth scaling is this degree is taught in English and not in the German language. So there is a smooth transition from my former education into this current education. Then, I mean, this could be an exception. There are other universities that could require the main TOEFL or the main IELTS exam. But like we all know, this is my unique, other cases maybe. And for some of my other colleagues, nobody submitted them like these English tests, whatever, to the university. Most of us just used our proficiency because our formal education was in English language.
Okay. So, based on what you said, I just want to ask one question. Okay, so for someone that maybe gets this scholarship for a university that is taught in German, do they still need the English proficiency test?
The DAD, most of the DAD accredited courses are taught in English language.
Okay, and then every university in Germany is eligible?
They have the list of universities that are eligible per scholarship section. So EPOS is just a section. They have the DAD LFA, they have the Omobolanle, they have different, the GP, I think there's a GPSS, I've forgotten the full name now. So there are different sections of the scholarship. So my story might be different from another person who got the PhD on other sections, story. So for the economics related courses that I was awarded the scholarship for, all of the courses, language of mode of instruction is in English.
Okay. So for this particular scholarship now, does your academic merit alone qualify you, or other factors considered for this scholarship?
I think there are other factors. I mean, on the list of requirements, you would need to have completed the basic bachelor degree. Then particularly, every applicant needs to have at least 2 years of experience in a development related sector.
Wow.
Yeah. So without these key requirements, then the applicant's application may not be so strong, because this is what they look out for the most. It is not just any kind of job. It should be in a development related sector, and it should be for at least 2 years. Aside from the education requirements, aside from the letters of recommendations, the transcripts, the letter of motivation, and every other document, these 2 years work experience is a key requirement of the DAAD EPOS scholarship.
Okay. So if you don't have 2 years work experience in the development sector, you are not qualified to apply for the scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, it's a key requirement.
Okay. So how can applicants? So let's say I have all these requirements now. What can I do to increase my chances? I know there are other people that have met this requirement. So now, me as an individual that wants to apply, what do you think, based on your experience, can help me increase my chances?
I mean, following the instructions on the site, like a major step to being admitted. Not thinking that a specific instruction is not needed. No, every single thing should be followed to the letter T. Then also writing a very strong motivation letter could also aid the chances of being selected. And this is a disclaimer, because I really do not know what exactly they saw in my application. All I knew was that I put in my best. I put in all of my experiences that are related to the course, and I applied. So I'm not a member of the admission committee. I don't know what exactly they are looking out for. Exactly. So I'm just going to say to anyone trying to apply, understand the requirements very, very well. Then do a deep introspection into yourself. What are the experiences? What are my strengths? What are my capabilities? What are the things that will make me stand out in a unique way whenever I tell my compelling story? Then put all of these things together in the motivation letter, in the resume, in the letters of recommendations that the references will be writing for you, and a very strong application. Put it out there, then your chances will increase.
Okay, thank you very much. That was helpful. Okay, so to the next question. So for this scholarship, do you have to apply for admission to the school first before applying to the scholarship, or you can just apply to the scholarship and you don't need to apply for the admission for the school?
Okay, thank you for this very good question. In my case, I applied to the university.
Okay.
So the application portal of the university is also embedded with that of the DAAD.
Okay.
So I know that there are some other universities where there are some, for this same scholarship, where you apply to the scholarship directly.
Okay.
So the scholarship board decides, and then you can apply to the school.
Okay, so you have to get the scholarship first, then you apply to the school.
Exactly. There are some DAAD scholarships like that you apply to the DAAD directly. And after you've been chosen, then you are given the liberty to, apply to other schools and finally choose which one you want to go for. But in my case, I applied to the university directly. The university conducted, they conducted interviews and submitted their names to the DAAD, and the DAAD made the final decision.
Okay.
So it's more like a two-in-one, a two-staged application process. But the main caveat here is, whenever you are doing applications, try to read the instructions very well, because it will be written there before even applying. It will be written in the requirements that every applicant needs to apply to the university directly. There will be that very strong disclaimer there, or they will say, okay, you apply to the scholarship board directly. Then after you are eligible to apply to as many schools as possible. Then you finally make your decision.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a two-way thing. Just understand the application instructions.
Okay, so let's go to the application process now. Can you walk us through the steps you took and how you prepared for each stage of the application?
Okay, the application process is just one. Apply. That's just the only process that I know. So
you did mention that for your school you had to do interviews.
So just one. I gathered my documents as I showed, my transcripts, my certificates, and letters of recommendations, my employer letter, my motivation letter.
Submit that yourself?
I did the application myself, so I was able to submit them myself on the portal.
Okay, I'm asking because there are some scholarships that require you to, like, your letter of recommendation has to be sent
from the recommender to the university. I was able to get all of that, and I uploaded everything.
Okay.
Yeah, online. Of course, my recommenders wrote it, and I was able to upload it online. So this is not an application where the link to submit the letter will be sent to the recommender.
Yeah.
So I understand that kind of application. So after I submitted all of that. Okay, so for context, the application opens the October 1st of every year and closes by November 15th.
Okay.
I was able to submit within this application window before it's closed. Then in February, we got an email of people who were shortlisted. Do you understand? So after the shortlisting, then we virtually got another email for scheduled interviews. We had about 15 minutes for each interviews, and on the interview board, we had the program coordinator. We had about 3 to 4 professors who would ask you questions. I mean, this is questions about the development concept. So I could remember I was asked questions about specific topics in the economics and econometrics. Okay. So this went back into the knowledge I had about the course. Then afterwards, I was told to talk about my motivation and all. And one thing to be careful about is all of your information needs to be very correct, because they will look at everything in total. So year of graduation, whatever you write in your CV, if you have to, relate to one of the experiences in the CV, in the motivation letter, then it has to be tallying. so that there is no loophole whatsoever. So I was able to talk about my motivation for the course, why I applied to the university and to the country on its own. Then we finished the interview. It was around 15 to 20 minutes, and I think after about 2-3 weeks, then we got the final email that, okay, the 7 of you have been shortlisted and hear from the DAAD. So it was after the DAAD had told them that these are the people they wanted, that we eventually got an email from the scholarship body herself.
Okay.
Do you understand? So yeah, that was how the application process went.
Okay, so for this process now, is it possible for an applicant to apply for maybe 3 different universities?
Oh yes, it is possible to apply to 3 different universities. Yes, it is really possible. But the major thing is, while writing the motivation letter, the applicant needs to explain and justify why he or she is applying to 3 different universities, or the different courses. And this is why I recommend that even if an applicant is applying to 3 different universities, the courses should still be very similar. So that the justification and explanation is going to follow the same route, the same pattern. And of course, I didn't do this. I only applied to 1 university. A friend of mine applied to 2, a coursemate of mine rather. She applied to 2 universities. So she got rejected by 1 and she got accepted by the other. So this is more like, okay, having to do that very good due diligence in writing the motivation letter and explaining why you're applying to 2 different courses.
So is there like a number limit for numbers of universities you can apply to?
Yes, usually 3 in the application form.
Okay.
Usually 3. And sometimes you may also write your proposed research idea.
Okay.
In the application form, there is a short space, and if you don't have any research idea, you are definitely going to have, because your motivation letter is surrounding it.
Yes, so we've been talking about motivation letter a lot. So can you share tips for writing a strong motivational letter? What should be included in your motivational letters? And then how many paragraphs or how many pages should it be?
So thank you for this question. Writing a motivation letter in different contexts is very unique to each context. The reason being that some applications will tell you to write in no more than 2 pages. Some can tell you in 750 words. Some can say in 500 words. So it is different. And aside this, there are always requirements for writing a motivation letter on every application. They will tell you, okay, why are you applying for this course? What is the problem? What are your future goals? There are some prompts that you need to follow to write it. And it's not supposed to be in chronological order. So it depends on how you write, you as an individual, you're trying to bring out your story. So from my motivation letter and motivation letters of people that I have reviewed, I would always ask this question: what is the problem that you've identified as an individual? Why are you choosing this course? To solve this problem that you've identified, right? What are your future career goals in relation to this course that you've applied to? How is it going to help you in the future? And how is it going to help the problem that you've identified? And how do you aim to solve this problem? So these are 4 key questions that I always look out for in every motivation letter. Now, this what, why, how, all of these questions are always embedded in the prompt of each motivation letter requirements. In questions like, why this course, why this school, what is the problem, what are your future career goals? In a way, it is embedded within it. So as an applicant, rather, just look at your experiences, even the littlest of experiences that you may think is not reliable, might eventually be that one that would sell you out. So just think about all of your experiences and write a story, a compelling story around it. And for context, I would say that applicants need to write their stories, let's say months or even weeks before the application closes, because every single time you open this motivation letter or statement of purpose, you always see a sentence to readjust a new word to add or
Yeah.
grammatical structure you need to put. Like you have ideas every single time on how to make the statement better. So imagine an applicant writing a motivation letter 1 week to the deadline. It's not going to be possible. So it gives you time to soak yourself into the letter and even think like the reviewer that, okay, what if I'm the reviewer? Will this letter prompt something inside? So I mean, there is no one size fits all to writing a motivation letter. Understand yourself, understand the problem you want to sort out, and connect the problem to the course, the university, to your future goals, to how you want to solve this problem in your own country. These are the major things to look out for in the motivation letter.
Okay, so for this particular scholarship, did they give any specific?
Definitely. There are specific things they look out for in the motivation letter. I don't have that up on my head right now, but I know that it's still around this major for key questions.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. So how were you able to manage the application process alongside your work? Like, could I maybe writing the motivational letters, getting letters and reference letters? How were you able to manage that with? You said you were lecturing then, so how were you able to manage the both of them? And I knew you were applying for other scholarships also. You didn't just apply for this one.
Looking back, I actually cannot say this is how I scaled through because I was into a lot at that time. Looking back, I was going through a lot at that time. So I think what helped me at the time was to have a timeline for completing the application process.
Okay.
So I have a scholarship tracker where I write the scholarship, I have the deadlines, I have every requirement that each scholarship needed in the application tracker. So when I know that the application is closing, let's say on the 30th of August, I need to have started preparing, let's say by June ending or by July. Because of course I had other things to do. Even if it's just 30 minutes to go through it in a day, I would always go back. And also for my recommenders, they knew at the time, I'd explained to them that I was applying and that I might need letters and all. So it's still the same thing. If I know that the application is closing in 1 month's time, I would have told them weeks before that, okay, I have this, and they would start writing. So eventually when I need it and I let them know, when they tell me, just give me a week or, how many days to finalize, right? And they submit it on my behalf or they send to me. In case of this scholarship, I needed to upload it by myself. So they sent me the PDF and, I uploaded. Then, the application tracker, giving myself grace and time to apply for it. Then there is this thing that I always say is when there is a reason for an action, you want to pursue the action. The reason is leading you to pursue the action. I know that what I wanted at that time was for me to get a scholarship. So even if I was doing a lot of things, I dedicated an amount of time to ensure that I saw that goal to the end. Sometimes I'll just be up in the midnight to finalize my motivation letter. Sometimes it may be early in the morning after my quiet time that I just go through something in it and, I keep going on. So I make time for myself even as much as I was busy working and, that things. Balancing is the key actually. Balancing on every side.
You said you started these scholarship applications in 2020. So it is expected, or I know that you faced rejections in the past. So how did you stay motivated to keep applying, and what advice will you give to others in similar situations that say, okay, I've applied for this scholarship for 2 years, I didn't get it, I'll just give up?
Yeah, thank you for that question. There's always a motivation for every action in life. In my case, I knew I wanted more, and I knew I was made for more, even right from the onset. So whenever I got rejections, of course, it was painful. I would take out time to recalibrate. During those times, I don't even open any application link or scholarship link for about 3 days afterwards, because I just want to soak myself in my work, and come back to it. Then I'm a Christian. I also take solace in the word of God that says there is a time and a season for everything, right? So I know that even if I was going through rejections at that time, there was a time appointed for me. And I really didn't know this time. All I needed to do was to go back into the application that I submitted and reread it understand what I did very wrongly. So when I saw the loophole in one application, I wouldn't commit that same blunder in the next application I was submitting. And of course, there's some application processes that you won't even get feedback. So what I do is I go back to the letter that I wrote and I submitted, and I would see, okay, if I am the reviewer, what would have made this motivation letter very weak? And I would try to change it in the next, submission that I would be making. I would just advise that whoever is applying should keep on keeping on. Sometimes you submit the best of application and still nothing comes up, but just let the fire within your bones keep burning you, keep steering you up to doing more, because you never can tell which application is going to come through, right? So just keep up. It's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy at all. You are going to do some that in your mind you're really sure that, oh, you've aced this application, you did every single thing right. But also don't forget that you are competing against the best of the best from different parts of the world. So maybe some of your strengths are not enough. Maybe you don't have the right technical skills, maybe you don't have the right statistical skills or right mathematical skills. You just have to check back and strengthen yourself in that aspect so you can submit a better application the next time.
Thank you so much for your advice. So I'll just ask, what was the biggest cultural shock when you moved to Germany, and how were you able to adjust both academically and socially in a new country?
So, there are still cultural shocks to me as I speak. And there are a lot of shocks. So I think the very first one, because I came during the summer, and that was by 10 p.m. at night. The day is still as bright as if it was 5 p.m. That was the first thing for me. Like, okay, this is 10 p.m. This is 10:30 p.m. Nowhere is dark, I realized that there are times and seasons here and where I'm coming from are two different things entirely. So I needed to adjust. And another thing was the language. When I came, the only thing I knew was Guten Tag and show the gong. I could not really speak the language that much, and getting to the cough house to buy some things, and they're asking you questions in Deutsch. And before I try to understand what is being said, there are other people behind me waiting to pay. I'll just say, "Miss Kate, bitte, with card, please," because that's the only German I could speak. Lots of cultural shocks. I got into my room and I wanted to open the window. And the kind of windows they use here, you can open it from the top by half, and you can also open it directly and open it very wide. So I opened the window, and I thought the window was falling on me from the top. I'm not accustomed to the fact that the windows can be closed from the top and from underneath, and there is a screw holding the window to the window pane. I didn't understand that. So I think it was shocking to me, but hey, it's fine. I'm still acclimatizing.
Yeah, so thanks to this scholarship, you get to experience all that. Yeah, I wanted to ask the question, skip my mind. So for this scholarship, does it accommodate dependent?
Okay, for those that are married, I think yes.
Okay.
People who are married, yes. So I think it takes care of. There is a stipend given to the children if you are with a child with you. There is. It's you could also, but they don't take care of bringing in the partner into the country. I think the only thing they can do is maybe to assist with a letter, right? But that is even in the extreme cases. But you can bring in your partner, but it's not on the scholarship. So
are there any obligations or commitments required after completing the scholarship, like returning to your home country?
For the post scholarship, yes. You're required to, create that change that you told them you want to create after the scholarship. You go back to your home country and effect that change. Yes.
So thank you very much for your time. So I just want you to advise our listeners, those considering applying for scholarships or funding in Germany generally. It might not be this particular scholarship. So what advice will you give to them, knowing what you know now?
Okay, as applicants, try to start early and have a grasp of the universities you want to apply to and the courses you want to go for. Don't just dilly-dally around courses. If you want to go for your economics, if you are focusing on international, let it be courses around international. If you're focused on agricultural economics, let it be around agricultural economics. So don't apply for agricultural economics and apply for financial economics and try to write something around development economics, because of course your motivation letter is going to be different at every single time and your stories are going to be different. So maintain the same lane, look for universities that offer that same course and universities whose professors are in your field and you're interested in their research. Yeah, then gather your documents and start applying early. Then also ask questions from people who have been in the program. When you go on LinkedIn and type the name of a school and the name of a particular department, you will see people, you will see at least one person who has been in the department before, like a former student or a current student. Then you can reach out to them and let them know that this is what you want to do. How can they support your application? That would also help. Then speak out, talk to people of like minds, let them guide you, and I'm sure that you're going to get it.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for those words. I mean, that's why Scholar Chit Chat is here, to kind of help you gravitate. Maybe you're just starting, you don't know where to start from, just help you get your footings and you can take on from there. So thank you very much, Omobolanle, for your time. Thank you for agreeing to share your words of wisdom with us today. Really appreciate. I mean, one advice that has been constant is just hard work. Yeah, nothing good comes easy, so you have to put in the work. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We really appreciate.
You're welcome, and it's my pleasure to be here too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So to our listeners, we hope you found this episode helpful. We are here for you. We have over 30 different episodes of different scholarships that will give you the opportunity to get amazing opportunities that would make a real life difference to your life, your family, and your country. Also, if you say you don't, maybe you are thinking you don't have the requirements for this particular scholarship, like I said, you can just go through the episodes and just check. There might be 1 or 2 or 3 that you met the requirements and just apply. So thank you for your time. Until next time, keep striving and stay.